Hello everybody, and this is Glenda with Fralins and Friends. I hope you're all well, and I hope you have seen or watched the poetry video and the short of Joe talking about his youth. Anyway, tonight I looked at my list, and the next one is nature. And I thought, well, that kind of gives me a big wide world. So I thought, what have I not painted that I would absolutely love to paint? And I thought, what about butterflies? Butterflies on flowers. Hey everybody, I hope you're having fun. I started this out with a request for nature, and that's all it said was just something from nature. So I decided, well, I'm going to do some wildflowers and butterflies. And I started out in I made this big old daisy type wildflower, and I thought, okay, this will be nice. Why don't I just make something for a kid's room? Actually, that's what it ended up being rather than me intentionally going that way, but we won't talk about that. But yeah, I am making a monarch butterfly for this one. In fact, I make a couple of monarchs. I make one for this flower and then I make another flower. But I want it to be colorful, so it's not all one kind of flower. And but getting these shapes, you think butterflies are so simple, but then when you realize how different ones are different shapes and how they've got all these markings. The monarch butterfly has a lot of markings, and I think it's probably the most recognized because it's the most prevalent. It it is the hardiest of all butterflies. It lives longer than any other butterfly, and it migrates. I don't know if any other butterfly migrates or not, but I don't think they probably live long enough to, at least not to get very far. You find the monarch from South America through North America. They're very hearty. But no, they do end up having to caterpillar over the winter and then they open up in the spring like other butterflies. They just happen to go a little bit longer before before all that happens. I'd have to study. You know what? I have not studied the life cycle of a butterfly for a long time. Which came first, the caterpillar or the cocoon or the butterfly itself? Okay, I realized here when I'm painting this butterfly, and they're mostly brown. They have a lot of gold in them, but they're mostly brown. So I thought, I'm just going to go ahead and do the base color brown, and then I'll paint the gold on. It'll make more sense. So that is what I am doing, where you see me make that big gold spot, because I know that there's no big blob of brown on them. I think maybe they call them a monarch because maybe they think they're the king of butterflies. I have no idea. I'm just saying that. Sounds good. And so I'm going to put on some more music here for. Okay. That was about enough of that. I don't think we'd want to hear, hear that one twice, but it sure was fun. I'm starting a purple flower, and I'm not going to make it so, let's see, two dimensional. I don't know how to say it. It's, I mean, it's like flowers don't stand on their heads. I don't know. But I'm going to try and make this one look more like it's facing the sun than facing us. I'm just having fun, guys. I am to that point. Is that okay? Well, of course it is. I can do what I want. I'm kidding. So, okay. At some point, yeah, I think I'm doing this in two different colors. I'm looking at this little square screen right now while I'm making this. Yeah, there we go with the pollen, and then I'm gonna make another monarch. So yeah, I did make it in two different tones of blue there. All right, more music, please. happy. Okay. I think, yeah, so something like this might look kind of nice in a kid's room. I think they might like it. I'm just going to put a little blue butterfly down here. Just because he wants to be in on the fun. Yeah, now that I did it, made it kind of not a bit professional looking, not even close. I think it would though. I think it would be really cute in a kid's room. Yeah, like a small child. They're just flittering around. Sometimes it pays to have a sense of humor. And I hope you guys have one for me tonight. Or tomorrow. Okie dokie. Oh, I need to put it up, but there it is. This is something I would consider putting on a child's wall. Not especially in my living room. That's it for tonight. I didn't really plan on doing anything big or anything that would take days upon days. But, yeah, I could have done better, but I think if you wanted to put this in a child's room, I think they'd get a kick out of looking at it. You know, maybe 2 or 3. Certainly not a teenager's room. But it depends on a person's personality and a kid's person. Kids have personalities. Don't ever mistake that. They have very distinct personalities and very distinct ideas of what they like. My oldest one taught me that. Her and I could never agree on styles or any of that. So she finally just did her own shopping. So, we'll see you tomorrow. I love you. Take care of yourselves. Good night.